Okay, now I'm gonna really switch things up here with a really off the wall question. We live in the digital age now, where digital photography has replaced, standard film. MP3s have replaced the vinyl, the cassettes, and even the CDs now. And I noticed this 7, 8 years ago when I was actually into it a little bit, where you have the computer art versus the non-digital art, where, touchscreen, you can do everything on touchscreen just like you can on a regular piece, pencil paper, painting canvas, whatever. What are your opinions as far as, and there's actually a very strong debate I've noticed between, is computer art actually art, or is it just, or is it just someone who, okay, well, I can do a basic drawing, throw it into an editing program, and have it come out looking like a masterpiece. What are your opinion as far as the digital versus non-digital? I mean, I'm talking as far as the actual, like I said, going on a Wacom tablet, a touch screen with a stylus, and actually drawing just the same, or creating it just the same way you would on a canvas or a piece of paper. What are your opinions on that?
My opinion is that I don't know how those things work. But if there's a human being involved into generating something, just that moment, it's a creation of something. Whether you have a machine help you with it or not, it just depends on the outcome. And I don't think as an artist, I have a hard time saying to someone, well, that is not art, or that is art. Art to me is something that exists independently of my brain and my judgment. So I am not going to use any of my brain or my judgment. Obviously, I have a pair of eyes, and there are things that move me. There are things that I'm attracted to, and there are others that I may not be. But to me, it's a creation. It comes from a human being.
Okay.
I really don't have a strong opinion, maybe one way or the other, or maybe I do.
Okay.
I think people think that they can just make so many judgments about art, or who is an artist, or how people do their art, and I think it's art. Like Anna said, someone's creating it, someone's doing it. I don't know why. It's just another branch of art, just like anything else.
Almost like an evolution of some styles, also, where, okay, let's do everything on, it's just a different canvas, basically.
Right. I mean, they're creating it themselves, so.
Okay.
Well, art is art. Some of it, through these eyes and this mind, some of it is good, some of it is not good. Through these eyes and through this mind. But I can, respect anybody that takes the time to do something creative, whatever medium. Digital language is art.
I think the more interesting.
It's pretty simplistic for me. If you spend time doing it and you figure out a way to present it, that's your time and your energy. And you feel like that's giving you value, because it does have value, because it just turns into something else. If you want to show it to other people, then you show it to other people.
The reason why I asked that is because I actually did.
Everything.
Yeah.
Changes, and whatever your medium is your medium. I choose to do other things.
Okay.
Yeah, the more interesting thing is the people who are saying this is an art. The people who go around and say this is an art, you're not an artist, all that stuff. That's the more.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. When people started first doing it, and again, I'm going back 7-8 years ago when I used to be in the graphics design. Some of it that I saw, I was like, okay, you're an artist, but it's easy to hit that undo button versus doing something on a canvas where, okay, either I have to incorporate this or scrap it, you know. But now as, you know, that I see how it's evolved, I do agree that, okay, this is just, you know, like everything else digital. This is almost like, this is another aspect of us giving birth to the next world and reality that we're living in. And, you know, as long as you're not actually copying someone else's art, you know, someone else's piece, you know, that I agree with you, that is, okay, you're using a touchscreen as a canvas versus a piece of paper.
Yeah, and you know, definitely there are parameters for what is art. There have been books written about what is a real piece of masterpiece and what is not. There is plenty of people with opinions and things like that. And being that you did that question personally to us, the way that I'm answering the question is that to me, I just respect and admire everything that originates with a human being. Maybe this discussion was done when the first paintbrush was brought to the cave. I go back to the cave. I don't know why I like
Well, no, that's because it makes sense because that is the actual origin of all, you know, of all art. I've actually, like with music, I've been to drum circles, and that is like the origin of music, you know, going back to, you know, the primitive, you know, so that's, you're just taking it back to the origins of everything.
I guess, and the fact that I have done 2 paintings that have the word cave in it, I think I'm going into that direction lately.
You know, I mean,
Part of my response is that I'm a draftsman by trade. You know, what I do with art pretty much is what gives meaning, you know, to my existence. You know, so I do it. I combine, you know, just different areas of parts of my life. You know, there's times when my, you know, when my drafting work, you know, finds its way into my artwork, and vice versa when, you know, when necessary. You know, and it becomes a way of, it becomes just, you know, part of what you do. It becomes part of who you are. So, you know, I, you know, pretty much have no problem with what, you know, the digital world, you know, what the digital world is doing, because I spent, you know, 4 or more semesters in a dark room, you know, and I've had just as much enjoyment out of digital cameras. You know, I started drafting on a drafting board, but I've had to become as good with CAD as I was on a drafting board. You know, so everything evolves and moves, and we just have to, you know, find out, you know, what place we want to put it in. And in fact, I spend a lot of my time figuring out, you know, what place to put something in.
yeah.
You know, or what position to put it in. You know, so, you know, so you know, like I said, anybody that spends their time and energy and puts something together and wants to present it, then, you know, we have to respect that.
Mm-hmm. Now here's another question. I warned you in the break. I said I have a couple of questions going to completely catch you off guard. I at least gave you that. Am I correct? I did warn everyone about that. Okay, now as far as you know, all 3 of you, and I've talked to so many artists in the area, and even a few in other areas, where you have certain people out there that, you know, just, okay, well, I'm going to rip out, you know, I'm going to knock out a piece basically for, okay, well, I'm doing it for the commercial and for the money, you know, versus, you know, or, okay, well, I've seen this style in a major, you know, in a major museum somewhere in the world. I'm going to try and do that style to get, you know, just to become well known, versus like, you know, doing it from your heart, your soul, and, your own life. For lack of a better way of putting this, and I'm probably putting everybody on the spot, and feel free not to answer this question, okay? Feel free not to answer, but as far as like, what are your opinions as far as people that do the art just for the money, as far as versus just, putting a part of themselves into it?
More power to them.
The same thing I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good for them.
This is actually the response I was hoping for, is,
More power to them. I think
We need more of them. That's
I,
why I have a job,
Yeah.
because I'm, the
Yeah.
starving artist thing.
art really is undervalued by society, as you well know. The time, the energy, and the part of ourselves that we put out there. It takes a lot. And, if people can make a profit with it, I admire that. We're all for that too.
yeah, oh yeah. No, I wasn't talking about just,
We usually, I go back to what Femi said, art for our sake
Yeah,
is what we do.
but we're doing okay.
When any of us could probably look at what's trendy and do it, because we have the means and the ability to do that. But
But there's a lot of artists. There's a lot of artists that I appreciate that I, that I look, that we,
yeah,
that I looked at their technique and played around with their technique. Of course,
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that, that I admire, that I, practice a little bit of, and
sure, we all influence each other in certain ways.
Everybody incorporates something into what they're doing. There's, there's intake from a lot of places. And I'm sure, and I've seen in most art that I look at that, what is put out. What is put out comes from what the, what the intake is.
What you have inside.
Which also adds to my personal definition of what modernity is, because everybody comes from their specific, background, upbringing, and culture. And the melding of that is what makes for the diversity of artistic expressions, artistic ideas.
Yes.
Because if everybody's coming from where, what is true to themselves, then that just adds to the flavor of everyone's style, and everyone's the way they express everybody. Other people.
Yeah.
And more power to the ones that are out there specifically for like the money,
And the fame.
Maybe they're paving our way.
We like to sell things too.
We do.
Yeah, well, I was just,
and we sell things too.
And we do
because
sell
it's
Yeah, but you also do it for, like you said, for art's sake and as an expression of, yourselves versus, okay, well, let's crank out another one quick just to, bang it out, get the prints done, see how much money we can make off it. Okay, well, this style's out, so. Okay, now, 2 questions left, I promise. We're keeping it. First question. With 2014 almost upon us, and with the artworks, one of the many projects, hints, teasers, what can people look forward to in 2014 from this group? I'm not asking for details. I don't ask for details. Just a few hints as far as kind of to like a movie trailer. A few hints.
All I have to say that for some reason the universe chose this place for the 3 of us to be here, and we have we're here just for the sake of art, and and to put art forth.
Mm-hmm.
And
But I mean, like, even as far as shows or stuff like that, any hints coming up?
Gonna ask that.
No, I said hints. Hints.
Well, yes, we have plenty of shows coming on. We have some individual shows and collaborative shows and shows of other fine artists in
Okay.
the area that we are going to be showing.
Okay. That's exactly what I was looking for, is kind of like just a little bit of a hint or, exciting things are coming up.
Let's just say you'll have more to interview us about.
Okay,
in the
good.
future.
Yes.
And we'll be having more video posted and more articles, and
We'll,
the three of you may end up getting your own. The three of you will probably just have, like the bands, will probably just have your own page of just the videos, seriously. Because I'm actually finding, like, with the bands, if I reviewed them one time, okay, I'll go out and see them again, post the video up, they have their own page, so. Okay, final question here, and this is for each individual, especially for somebody who's been fairly quiet the whole time.
Jade,
Jade,
speak.
Advice, this is a question I ask, I don't care if you're an artist, a writer, no matter what type, no matter what you do. Advice to people, to artists out there who are just, whether it's grade school students starting out, you saw those three poor excuses for drawings that I showed you for myself, advice to artists as far as, anybody starting out or somebody who's been doing it for so long they feel like they've even gotten into a rut, which I'm sure you can do. Advice.
you have to be brave. You have to put yourself out there, and you have to make connections.
Okay.
I'm in total agreement. Brave. I had a friend, I still have that friend that I love very much. And he will say to me, Anna, be brave. I had no clue what the hell he meant. I really wanted him to show me what brave meant. I know now. And that's part of it. And the other one that I would say is that you believe on what you do. When you have the passion for what you do, everything else comes along. You have to forget voices that we grew up with sometimes and just believe that what you're doing matters. It matters to you first and foremost. And if it matters to you, it's for certainly going to matter to others.
Okay.
Well, first you don't call your work poor excuse.
No. Oh,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
true.
I meant to tell him that. I meant to tell him that. That's the first thing.
And you do what you love, and you love what you do. You do it when you feel it, and you do it when you don't feel it.
That's right.
Okay.
Just like Nike said.
Just keep doing it.
Basically, just keep trying to evolve and.
And be true to yourself.
Okay. Well, thank you, all three of you, very much for your time. I really appreciate it, especially for. I have to make an important note here that we're actually in Expression Studios doing this.
Yes, and maybe you will walk around with your little camera.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, if I could do a short video clip to give people an idea, but we actually did this interview in the studios here. And by the way, remember how I said that I come up with the best questions when I'm having a conversation? In the first part, you actually answered a question I was going to ask about schooling versus, self-teaching. And I all three of you pretty much answered that already, so I didn't even have to ask it. But thank you very much for your time. Did you enjoy it?
We are, yeah, I
Okay.
I did, yes. I did.
Okay, good.
And, yeah, it's, sometimes you never know what to expect.
I try to keep people that way.
But
It's, I try to keep it fun, but I also like to keep the suspense there a little bit too, so.
that's good, and we have appreciated that you came to visit, and we welcome you anytime.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.